Morris Solicitors. We are live on social media right now, and you can listen as well on the app and on your smart speakers, and you are very welcome. Coming up, we will be joined by Pembrokeshire's short mat bowler, Rydian Rees. He was a great guest on the show a few weeks ago. He'll reflect on a top quality weekend of action at Heatherton that saw players from across the UK take part. And we'll review the weekend's local football, some notable wins for Fishguard, Carew and Milford Haven in the West Wales Cup. And there's a look at the rugby news as well. Plus, more from the indoor cricket. I'm sure fantasy football will get a mention. It felt like fantasy football watching Spurs at Man City yesterday. Let's get going. There's plenty to do. In Haverfordwest, we've got Gordon and Tom, and hopefully Fraser will be joining us in just a sec. Fraser, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There, yes, we can. Loud and clear. There we are.
It's like a VAR shambles trying to get Alfie and Garland wouldn't have stood for that.
He wouldn't. Fraser's keeping his cool. We're up and running. He's with us. Gordon and Tom are in Haverfordwest tonight. Gordon, how are you?
I'm very good. Very cold weekend, Ben. You were just saying what a wet day it is today. It is in Pembrokeshire as well. But on Saturday, everything seemed to be frozen, to be honest with you. And it was a big casualty. There was only 13 league games played and 3 West Wales Cup games. I did manage to get out. We'll talk about that now in a sec.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the big freeze, wasn't it, really, on Saturday? Haverfordwest at home to TNS. That was one of the games that went, and matches did fall by the wayside. And, of course, heavy rain has replaced that now. So that might make it slightly dicey this weekend, Fraser.
Yeah, absolutely. Although one problem launches to another, isn't it? I have to say that while all you softies back west were calling everything off left, right and centre on Saturday, I was up in the Brecon Beacons walking Pen-y-Fan. And added dimension to it, I will say that the snow and ice did make it a lot more difficult than I envisaged. But I will say a beautiful walk and some stunning views, actually. The snowy coverings on the hills made it. So I'd recommend it to everyone. Great time.
I've never done it, Fraser. I think we said last week I always fancy it as well. Yeah. So in those conditions, that must have been extra difficult on Saturday morning.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it more than my wife did. I will admit that. But there were a large group of us, and like I said, it was icy in some of the steep parts as well. So we had a few drop-offs along the way. I will say that, but no, it is well worth doing. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what was the temperature? It must have been close to 0, was it not?
I'd say minus.
Minus. Yeah, yeah. Well, good work, excellent effort heading up there on Saturday morning. Tom, evening to you. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. Very well, thank you. Very well indeed.
Excellent stuff. Well, we should start with the football that went ahead, and it was really the West Wales Cup that maybe made some of the stories, Fraser, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 good wins for our teams, actually. Fishguard with an absolute humdinger of a game. You know, they've had a poor season, Fishguard. We spoke to Matthew Griffiths in the first hour, of course, standing there on 2 points as it stands, staring relegation in the face. And, you know, some brief respite for them Saturday, but to be 3-0 up in 17 minutes and then go down to the wire. And me and Gordon's old work colleague, Chunky Cousins of all people, not renowned for goals. So nice moment for them. And Carew, of course, have got good pedigree in this competition, but are languishing now in the relegation zone. So strange, but I wasn't surprised to see them beat Penarth after recent performances. So 3 good wins as well. Of course, Milford United as well, putting away Tenby more convincingly than I thought they would. Actually.
Did you get to any of the games, Gord?
Yeah, I went to Carew actually. Yeah. It wasn't as easy as the scoreline suggests, 6-2. It was only 2-0 at half-time to Carew, and then Penna got themselves back in it shortly after the break, and I thought there was going to be a serious fight back, but no, Carew put them to bed then. I popped over to Monkton as well to see Monkton versus Neyland in the only Division 1
league game. Yeah.
I got over there about 3 o'clock, and it was actually dark. I couldn't believe it. You know, how those boys could play in those conditions. Yeah. It was pouring with rain at that point as well. And Patrick Hannon was in goal for Neyland, and they conceded a penalty. And he said it was bad light, how he couldn't save the penalty spot kick that Dylan Davis had hit into the roof of the net. I don't think you had much chance there, Patrick, to be honest with you, but whether the light was on or not.
It's an issue. It's an issue this time of year, Gordon. It is an issue, isn't it?
It is, honestly. Yeah. I was, you know, in the summer months, I'm going around and it's beautiful at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, isn't it? Usually sunny, and you're in Pembroke and Carew. It's like the middle of the night in the afternoon. And these guys, they kick off early, 1:30, 2 o'clock. But if you've got a bad day, by 3:30 at least, it's nearly dark. Nearly dark. It is a problem, and they haven't got lights either.
Good. Neyland had drawn their 2 previous home games, haven't we? We kind of said they're the sort of games that actually needed to be winning. They don't hold themselves out for it. But fair to say, much better point for them actually away in Monkton Saturday. And while they haven't won in 3, they have picked up 3 points, I noticed, and are out of the bottom 2.
They actually had a chance to win it, Fraser. They had a penalty. I think it was in the 80th minute. And I won't name and shame him, but he took the penalty, and it was just a routine save for the keeper, Taylor Gillum. And I mean, they could have come away with 3 points, and that would have been really important for Neyland. I spoke to Sean Hannon. He said, we were kicking ourselves that we didn't actually take the 3 points, even though he conceded that Monkton were probably the better side on the day. But that's irrelevant. It's the scoreline that counts, isn't it? You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And just back to the West Wales Cup, Fraser, as you say, we got really good reaction in the first hour for that Fishguard win, and I think you did say don't celebrate too much because it's obviously some sore heads on Sunday. That was a good win for Fishguard, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. Like I said, you hope now that will kickstart them in the Pembrokeshire League as well, because they have been struggling. But look, you know, it is a competition, the West Wales Cup, where you can get on a roll. You do have some good days out, albeit Fishguard were at home. You play different teams, they bring different crowds down, and you do get quite a bit of drama to it, you know. And it is a competition which clubs can't dare to dream. You've got Fishguard now, you know, rock bottom of Division 1, and yet 3 games away from the Swansea.com stadium, you know. So, yeah, I mean, for them to be 3-0 up in 17 minutes and then let it go to 3-3, they were probably thinking, here we go again. But then to win it at the end, you know, when Matthew admitted it looked like only one side were going to win it, and that was Glyce. So a good day for them. They're a cracking club, Fishguard.
I think they'd hammered Monkton 5-0 in the previous round. So fair play to Fishguard to get a result against I think they're the West Wales Premier side. I think they're at the bottom, but even so, still a good result.
Excellent effort. You can listen to that interview and everything else in a jam-packed first hour of the show. You can listen back to that. Just head to the website, purewestradio.com. Mentioned how the West game was off on Saturday. They are in cup action, aren't they, this weekend? Cardiff met the visitors to the Bridge Meadow. So a week off. Actually, they'll be taking that game quite seriously, I think, in the Welsh Cup, because they'll actually want to have a decent run, Gord, I think, in that competition.
Yeah, I mean, if they do actually win this next round, they're into the quarter-final stage, to be fair. Tony Pennock will be probably quite happy that they had a weekend off to sort of rest up, refocus, and hopefully get a few more boys back from injury. And Cardiff were there the last time round last week. They beat them, but I think Tony will take this game very seriously. It is an opportunity to have a good cup run, like Fraser just spoke about the Pembrokeshire sides in the West Wales Cup. Equally, Haverford County will be looking to have a good, cup run in the Welsh Cup.
I think that's spot on, actually, Fraser. I've just got the feeling that's a competition Pennock and the board, the chairman, the players might just have their eye on this season for just a good cup run.
Well, they should do. They should do. They've got cup pedigree, haven't they? They've got cup pedigree against Cardiff Met. They'll be creaking if it goes to penalties, that's for sure. So Zach Jones in there. So yeah, look, Haverford are up in the top flight now, and you want good seasons to keep talking about this top 6. We keep talking about it as well, to be fair. But ultimately, what fans remember, as Gordon will tell you, is cup trophy wins and cup finals and days out like that. So yeah, they should take it every bit seriously. I'd be amazed if they didn't, to be honest. I'm fully expecting to go full strength Saturday.
Excellent stuff. I will plug the documentary again as well, following them in Europe, because I've watched all 3 episodes now of You Can Have It All. And I have to say, I think it's absolutely excellent, those 3 episodes. Pennock comes across really well, and just in terms of his detail, but some ridiculous moments in the third one. When I don't know if you've seen the bit where the players are doing spelling tests for one another. And it was absolutely hilarious. And one of them was spelled the word minuscule. And all I say is you need to watch the documentary, because they also then had to give an example of how you would use that word within a sentence.
Oh no!
Right.
All I'll say, I won't go into details. I don't want any spoilers. I also don't want to get in trouble. But it did involve a part of one Ricky Watt's anatomy is
I can
is the
imagine.
example that was used.
Right.
But it's ridiculous. But actually, very interesting.
I never put Ricky Watts down as minuscule.
But honestly, I was laughing watching that on Saturday.
I've seen episode 1, and that wasn't the direction I was expecting episodes 2 and 3 to go. So I'll watch them with interest.
There's far more to it, and as I say, I think Pennock and the management team, like their detail is fascinating. I've recommended it to my mates to watch because it really was good. But yeah, that bit did make me laugh when they're
well, Ryan did promise he wasn't going to leave any detail out, wasn't he? So
yeah, I almost thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get too much detail at one point. And Ryan, I think he's enjoyed that because he's just commented on our live feed as well. Do give that a watch. Those 3 episodes are excellent and a good way to remember that run that Haverfordwest had that got them Team of the Year, of course, at the Sport Pembrokeshire Awards. What about the rugby then? So football was all frozen off. What happened in the rugby this weekend, chaps?
Huge win, to be fair, for Milford Haven.
That was a big win for us,
16-14, and good for them because they've had a couple of stints this season. They've let games go which they could have won. And like we said, we've seen this. We talk about it so many times. We've seen the team win that Division 3 West A League. Where it's all hunky dory and they're playing local sides, and they there's 9 out of 10 times they're going to win each week. They go into Division 2. It's tough, and we've seen many of them fold and settle for coming straight back down. Milford aren't doing that. They're fighting. And to come through that on a day like that as well, where they had to work hard to get the game on, I imagine, let alone win it. They'd lost a couple of tight ones this season. So to come away with that result, huge for them, huge in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it was at the Obs, Fraser. Please state that as well. It was at the Obs.
I mean, I wouldn't like going to the Obs in that conditions, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was there the day that the post protector blew to the halfway line and it still didn't. But,
there was one other game as well. You're probably aware of it as well. Was in the Division 2 Cup.
Right.
Tenby lost at Swansea Uplands. So, Tenby have had a decent season so far this season as well. So they'd probably be a little bit disappointed that they didn't fare a little bit better. But that's no disrespects to Swansea Uplands because they got a useful pack and quite useful behind as well.
I mean, no time to dwell on it because huge game this Saturday. Probably the pick of them is Tenby St Clair's in Division 2. Tenby unbeaten, 6 from 6 in the league, but St Clair's, who have lost but played 8 games, are actually top. Going up last year, so could have a massive bearing on the title race. That.
Yeah. One other rugby line as well. We had the news, didn't we, that George North is going to be leaving the Ospreys. He's set for Provence. In France, French second division level, 31 years old, out of contract. Well, surprised at that? Is that a good bus?
Not really. He only played 3 games. Did he play 3 games for the Ospreys last season? Or that's what everybody's been harping on about. I mean, he's been very busy playing for Wales as well. In the World Cup, he had a good World Cup, to be fair to him. And I suppose with all the money situation in Wales, I think it was odds on bet. If you get an offer, you're going to go. So George has gone, and I don't blame him and wish him all the best because he's at the tail end of his career.
Is that him done internationally, or do you think he'll still play a part?
Probably. But I wouldn't say, it's the end. I think Warren's going to start looking for younger players coming through now. There's quite a few good centres, in line for a possible call-up. So, he'd be building for the next World Cup. And obviously, we've got the Six Nations just around the corner.
I mean, at 31, you'd suggest he still has a few more years to offer. But you remember, George North came into international rugby still at 18, 19.
Yeah.
He's taken a job for over a decade. And I think Gordon's right. I think the fact that he's gone to a second-tier French side is probably the death knell for him. I think that would harm his international chances, to be brutally honest.
Burst on the scene, didn't he? I remember his debut against South Africa in Cardiff.
Right.
Two tries as a young Scarlet, and he's a great player, though, isn't he? I think he's one of those players you'll really appreciate how good he is when he's not there anymore. Because I think he's been some player for the Lions as well.
He's a class act, isn't he? There's no question about that. I mean, plays centre. He's a renowned winger in his early days as well. I mean. What you remember of George North is picking up his opposite winger and running with him. That's probably one of the highlights.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But also catching a ball from deep and running in for the Lions from inside his own half. And very talented player. And probably understated, to be honest with you, because Shane Williams seemed to get all the glory, but George was more than a depth winger and come centre as well.
He's had a few nasty head injuries as well, hasn't he, over the years, George, as well, and you know that obviously takes its toll. But some nasty.
You skipped into that nicely there, mate. Fair play to you with all that's going on with head injuries within the WRU.
Yeah, well, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, he's had his fair share of being knocked out, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah, top player. All right, we will take a moment, and we're going to be talking to Ridgie and Reese in a few moments' time, because Heatherton was the venue for some excellent short mat bowls at the weekend. Kim Thomas was there, and we had some of the interviews from KT in the first hour. It sounded great. There were 3 teams taking part. And it was won by the Northwest side from Northern Ireland. We'll find out exactly what happened to the Welsh side with Ridgie and just how the weekend at Heatherton went in just a few moments. It is Monday evening. Good to have your company as well tonight on Pure West Sport.
Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors, but they have a very modern approach to solving legal issues and are proud sponsors.